want to grow as a grower? Are you tired of being put to sleep by your educational growcasts? Are you tired of hearing about products you don't fucking want and can't afford? Are you tired of being told how you should grow? Hi, I'm Johnny Apple, and joining me is everyone's favorite amphibian, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Join us as we sift through the bullshit on the internet and try to get better as growers. This is your average grow.
Hey, dude.
Hey, man. So, I invited another New Yorker onto the podcast because I got sick of all the West Coast rambling. I brought in Soskyhigh, man. Soskyhigh, what's up, buddy?
What's up,
What's
Soskyhigh?
up? Oh, man. This is how it should be. More East Coasters than West Coasters on these
You don't
calls.
get to come on my motherfucking podcast and tell me how it's supposed to be.
Guess what? It just happened.
What a New York thing to do. What a New York thing to do. This is why, man. I've been replaced on my own podcast.
Vote. Let's just start saying Cali and Hella right now.
My heart is broken.
Shit.
I'm so glad you joined us. It's unfortunate that it's the shortest episode we're doing today. I'll see you guys. Thanks for listening. No, man, super glad you're joining us. You're joining us as someone could just hear straight from New York City, dude.
Yeah, so I'm actually parked in the middle of the Bronx, New York, 167th Street and 3rd Avenue, just in case anybody wants to find me 3 years down the line when they're listening to this.
Yeah. The three people that know know this podcast and where New York is. No, thanks for joining us. Johnny was super excited to have you on, so I'm excited to hear him ask you all kinds of ridiculous questions.
I mean, I can just tell you, I like it, nice and smooth, shave. Any other questions?
I knew it was gonna go there.
Why wait? I'm not into the foreplay, Johnny. Come on. You know me.
Straight to it. Oh boy! Now that I've been verbally raped.
Jesus Christ!
It was consensual. You said okay. You signed on the line.
It was
famous East Coast humor.
No doubt. Man, no, I'm glad to have you. It's cool to see you New York City legal just having a J sitting there smoking, man. What you smoking on?
Yeah, so I got some Atlas Seeds fruit by the foot. This was from my first harvest. Shout out to Mac Attack Gardens. He blessed me with 2 of these seeds, along with some other ones, which were some of the driving factors for me getting started. So big shout out to him. First harvest. Amazing to just be able to say that you invested your time, yourself into something, and you got the product right in your hand,
Yeah, man, it is pretty amazing. Job. I'm sure we'll get into it more, but not only do you have it in your hand and you're enjoying the, as they say, fruits of your labor, but you did a fantastic job the whole time, man. And you did something most people don't have to do, but they documented almost daily your first grow completely. It's pretty fucking ballsy.
So funny enough, it didn't stop. It just changed. I'm on the 2nd episode, and I call it volume 2. There's a video. I have this little hand notebook, and every single day I got a journal entry in there.
Why is it just a list of names crossed out?
Johnny's first.
If Kotz could see the camera right now with that notebook pulled out, he'd be getting hard too, man. What the fuck with notes and notebooks and PDFs? What is it, like a system with you guys?
It's quite simple.
Yeah,
one of the major side effects of the medication I seem to need to barely function is memory. So if I don't write shit down, homeboy, I ain't get shit done.
Shit. Well, speaking of, what are you medicated with tonight, man?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess obviously he already told us. I am smoking on. I'm trying to remember if it's that Hella Jelly still or it's that Hella Jelly stuff I bought to I mean, it's horrible dispo weed. But I thought it was
Ooh, let's
interesting.
visit dispo weeds. I actually visited a
Again, whose
legal.
podcast do you think this is, motherfucker?
Oh, mine. Come on,
No,
we
that's a
don't
good
want
point.
you here anymore. We don't want you here anymore.
But
Oh,
well, that's a great thing to touch on too, because I believe they're cracking down on your whole shit everywhere. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not good. It was a joke so that I could have it for the circle, and it is. I mean, you'll love the effects, and I think you'll definitely want a cut to keep around.
Oh yeah, I'm imagining. So what I was thinking today is they'll probably get to a point with geez, every time the Sea of Green, they're gonna get to a point where I think I'm just gonna top them and take the cuts from the tops.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think then that'll give the bottom branches a chance to all come up and even out. So I imagine that's how I'm going to do it. That's what I'm hoping to be able to do.
Well,
so
I'm excited.
I should be able to get a cut from each of them.
Yeah. Well,
how many do you have, Johnny?
I got 10 of them that
allegedly.
No, I got 10 seedlings that took, and I'm going to run 9 of them. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that 10th one right now. I might up pot it and just kind of keep it around. Maybe run some cuts of it outside or something. Who knows? But I'm going to run 9 of the selected ones, of the better looking 9 in a grid pattern in the 3x3 bed.
Assuming photos?
Yeah.
Are those photos?
Yeah. The Hella Jellies. Yep, from Humboldt Seed.
Okay.
Yep, they're femme photos.
Okay. Are you going to keep males?
Nope, they're femme photos.
Oh, they're femme photos. Sorry. I smoked. Yep. Sorry.
It's all good. No apologies here. It's the average grow.
We all smoked.
If you get to cut that the medicine says that it does what it's supposed to do, and it's been recommended by quite a few people, then it's going to be a nice cut to have around, because I already know a bunch of people who could use it.
No doubt. But yeah, speaking of my garden, I'm just puffing on the last little bit of the tangy I had stashed away.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Getting all tangied up for Soskyhigh, huh?
Yep.
Listen,
I wanted to match my headspace with that twisted up fucking Mr. Monopoly looking mustache he's got going on.
Don't go too hard on him. You guys both have video.
You're just mad I can pull it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say you both.
Oh, no doubt you could. Look, I got this gay little like space here. It's so weird, yeah, man. Yeah, you got this.
It's like a landing.
Beautiful beard. If Matt could see it, he'd be so jealous right now.
Matt could have had a nice mustache.
Man. Yeah. I used to have a beard.
It's like an evil mustache, actually. Like I just play with it when
I'm not evil. It's not necessarily evil. It just so happens that everybody who's ever had that mustache was evil.
Come see, come saw.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm looking. Both of you guys are on video, and it looks like I'm in a conference call with 2 skinheads. It's fantastic. It's like if the skinhead group had to have a diversity hire.
We met the quota.
But yeah, no, it's wonderful to have you on again. I've said, but yeah, you've got tangied up, Johnny. Let's have it full raw and unleash it upon him.
Yeah, man. So at least I'm hitting on the tangy, the homegrown stuff. You really wanted to talk about the dispo shit. Let's hear about it. What do you want to touch on?
So So let's step back, right? So a lot of you kind of have been on my journey, and thanks for everyone who's kind of helped me along the way. I've been involved in the Discord, started with Cultivation Conversation. Huge shout outs to the godmothers and godfathers of this show, G3, Captain, and Monster. So I've been kind of active in the Discord a lot, and kind of looking at my journey. I visited a dispo today, and when I walked in, they greet you at the door. They scan your ID. First question I ask is, hey, do you guys focus on autos or photos? And they go, what are those things? What do you mean? I said, ooh, oh, okay, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm just going to look around. I just looked around to see, and it kind of, hindsight, right? The journey has been so fun and interesting and long, and I've learned so much that when I go to a place that it's supposed to be set up and the people there are supposed to be educated and don't know something as basic as that, I said to myself, Do I know more, or do they not know what they're supposed to know?
Well, the good news is it's that you know more, right? By like the baseline knowledge that you generally will accumulate in this hobby is more than most people really. I mean, it's almost obsessive, right? It's the reason why it's a hobby. But
I had
yeah,
the guy. I had a water company come over, and the guy's like, "I'm gonna test your pH. Do you know what that is?" And I'm like, um, no.
exactly. Yeah, you're like, yeah, man. I just happen to be really into water. That's yeah.
Ah, man. So you're right. We're talking about your dispo you went to yesterday. Bring us back to the beginning of your fucking cannabis experience, man. What got you started? Like, when did you first partake? What made you want to partake? Tell me your story, man.
Yeah, so I started smoking. Oh, I'm sorry. I started partaking.
You can
Probably
say
when I was.
smoking. What you
Oh,
don't give
yeah,
a
okay.
fuck
All right.
anymore.
I don't
What kind of
fucking.
fucking show
Listen,
do you think this is?
I
I
keep it
thought you
family
took it
friendly.
over. I thought you
Hey,
took it over
hey,
from
listen,
me.
suck or something, Rev. So so I started smoking probably when I was 21, a little later than most people, I think. But I think it was the right age for me. I think if I started smoking any sooner, I wouldn't have been able to appreciate it. But since I started enjoying it, my first experience was a volcano, and it was like a 3 foot bag. So I was just,
That's a damn nice starting experience.
it was, I
Everything's gonna get
never,
harsher from here on out. Like fuck.
exactly. Um, but because of that, it wasn't something I was really into putting myself out there. I kind of kept it to myself. But I've always been interested in growing. When I was in college, I tried to start, and that was like 12 years ago. I created a CFL light fixture that I found on Grass City forums.
Nice.
Uh, and it had like 8 CFLs with some plastic pipes and just the wires running in the pipe and like a Target closet that I found. So I started it, but then I just realized it was just too much to control. The heat, the area was right by the door in a huge apartment, and I just started. It just wasn't worth it at that point. Then I had to grow up a little bit, kind of stepped into the world. And in New York, things were illegal. And I work in I'm in corporate America, so I have to kind of maintain a certain persona. So it's always something I kind of always partake, always enjoyed. Really just buying whatever I found locally because I didn't want to overextend myself or publicize myself because it wasn't the right time for me yet. So come about 20, I think 17, 18, maybe 19. I'm sorry, I forgot the year. New York obviously passed the MRTA. And I have a medical card as well in New York. And I followed it very, very close. It obviously became legalized early, and due to things in New York, took a lot of time, and it's still taking time to structure how that sector, how the market looks like here. So even it took almost 2 years to them approve that it was okay to go in New York. But I knew it was coming, right? Because it was just part of the process. So while I knew it was coming, that's when I stepped into the Discord. I stepped into the Instagram world where I extended myself a little, found y'all. I found other podcasts that kind of led me to this one. And ever since, I've just been kind of really learning and buying things little at a time instead of overextending myself and buying everything in one shot. I bought the tent here, right? And then I bought the light here. Then I bought the carbon filter a few weeks later. If I came into an extra $50, maybe I bought a new line. And I just, started buying things little by little while learning. I went through tons of people. I don't want to mention any names. I don't want to be specific, but there's a lot of people I've learned through the YouTube area as well. But because of that, that's also one of the reasons I made a lot of mistakes in my first official grow, which I started back in October 20 last year, when New York finally said, as a medical patient, you are now able to grow legally without no issues. So that's really when I kind of said, okay, balls to the walls, let's go
Do it,
hard.
yeah.
And Johnny was my guy. Johnny was like, what the fuck, bro? What are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, build the wall. I'm like, come on, man, I gotta get this. Just build it. Shut up, build it. Right. So I started framing it, took some pictures, put it on the Discord. Hey, it looks good, man. Keep going. Are you done? Are you done with the wall? Are you done with the wall? So Johnny, he pushed me, man. So, I built the wall. I built the wall. I built the door. Never done it in my life. I had a friend borrowed a chop saw because I'm a city boy, right? So I'm here building a wall and build a door because that's part of my. I have to make sure I can keep it separate from my home. So that's just part of my process. I like to make sure my family, my son, can't get into it for safety purposes.
Plus, it's your fort, and it looks bitchin'.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I know where that key's at. I am the only person, and I am taking that to my grave.
Exactly.
And as I learned, right, I kind of kept building this wall, and after a while, I said, well, if I built the wall, might as well spend another few $100 and insulate it. Bought some insulation. Took some pictures, and then Johnny says, dude, I think those walls are on backwards. And I'm like, what do you mean the walls are on backwards? Doesn't the brown side go out on drywall? No, dude, it does not. It does not. And I was like, and with drywall, once you put it up, you take it down, you can't use those holes again. So I said, screw it. It'll work. It'll work. So after that, right, that was kind of my first push to kind of get into really get going. Then I bought a AC Infinity T4 fan. I'm a big AC Infinity fan. I run a 5x5 and I have a 2x4 dry tent. And I needed an adapter for the 69 controller, and I posted on the Discord. And on the Cultivation Conversation Discord and Mac Attack Garden, he says, hey, I got you. I'll send you it. I'm like, really? How much should I send you? Don't worry, dude. Don't worry. I got it for free. You have it. No worries. Right? I'm expecting, the adapter. I open the package. This guy sends me like 8 different seeds, man. And I'm like, well, at this point, with Johnny pushing me, with Mac telling me, hey, I'm giving you stuff to do, I almost felt like, hey, I owe it to these guys to start doing this ASAP. So as soon as I could drop seed that same day, I dropped seed. And I usually will start in one of those germination domes with the peat moss, root riots. That's what works for me. So far, I've germinated about 14, 15. So I'm small. I just started last year. And out of those 15, only 2 haven't germinated. So it's, not too bad. And I always germinate more than what I need because I want to make sure
Tell me more about that process, because I just started that one too. It's the first time I've done peat in the clone dome. Tell me about how you do it. Do you change your temperature? Do you spray the lid? What exactly is your method to rooting or getting your seeds rooted?
One side note, I wanted to ask and have it asked this way. Do explain how you drop seed.
Oh, thank you. Great. So actually, everything. I'm a max to the effort, right? Johnny, Rev, y'all know that. Everyone in the community knows I'm always max to the effort. So a lot of the things that I did differently in my second run, which I'm going through now, I did wrong in my first one. But in general, I start with the root riot creeps. I drop them in a Athena blend with bloom in it so that they soak it up. I drop a few aloe drops of my aloe plant in it. I also put a little bit of mycorrhiza in about a gallon mixture. Shake that up, make sure it's nice and mixed. Very low EC. I run EC, so I would run something like maybe a 200 to 400 EC in that bucket. Let the root riots soak it up. Then I put I fill about half of the tray of the root riots. The tray has about 25. I put about 12 so that they hold moisture within that dome. I then also make sure I have a heat mat. So I use a heat mat with a thermometer. I think if you really want to have a successful germination, that heat is very important because it kind of helps circulate the moisture, helps some of that evaporation. So I'm a big fan of it. So I run a heat mat at about 84 degrees, 85 degrees. But I put those pre-soaked cube root riots in the tray. I put a dome on it, and I put a Govee thermometer in it, where it allows me to measure the temperature within the moisture within that. So I try to keep that at 90 moisture percentage wise and about 84. By dropping seeds, I literally just put the seeds in the root riot. Very one thing I learned the first time, you have to be cautious that you don't put your seed, you don't push it in too far. You want to make sure it's literally just about the height of the seed itself. So no more than that, because at that point you're actually going to not allow the air and that seed to germinate. It happened to me with my one of my top guns that I tried to germinate on the first one. It just didn't grow. It just stayed dead. So the second time I did that, really, really worked out because I run autos.
You think for dropping seed, just the tip?
Just the tip. That's it. And it
so you can essentially still see the seed in the root riot when you're planting. You're saying 100%. You'll see it because it's a hole. Okay.
100%. Because if you push it down too far, it just won't come out. And I don't care how I drop the seed. I know a lot of people will say, point one end down or up. I don't care. I just put the seed in. And for me, I know a lot of, we're in New York City, right? So I'm not going to mute myself. I'm actually going to just let this ambulance go by. And that is New York City. All right.
That's what we expect.
That won't be the last one. So I drop them. I don't care how I drop them. I don't do the tissue method, which I know is very popular and a lot of people have a lot of success. But I fumble my fingers. I everything I touch, I drop, I break. I nothing. So I rather not touch the seed and let it do what it has to do in that cube. I will always also plant more than what I'm going to end with. So right now I have 5 plants in my tent, but I started with 8. And I pick the healthiest ones out of them and just kind of toss the rest. And I keep a rest in peace pile that I just kind of keep compiling for the ones that didn't make it. And so far, so good success. I do run a T5 small light on top of it as well, which I run on an 18/6 schedule. My first time around, I ran 24 for the germination. I didn't see a difference. Still germinated. I germinated actually more the second time because I did that pre-soak with the root riots. And that really helped a lot there. Check the moisture. So I then add about, I try to keep it simple, bottles worth 16 ounces, Poland Spring bottle or, bottle of water from Target, whatever, fill those up. And I just then throw one of those in. And then I just monitor the moisture. If it gets too dry, if I see it go below 70, I add more water. If I see it go above 90, I'm okay with that because we're trying to get a lot of moisture in there. Told you that was not the last one. This is number 2. Maybe we should get a counter. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a counter of how many ambulances we got going.
So you're saying you put water in the bottom of the tray?
So hold on. We're going to continue with what it means to be in the city. Someone just asked me if I'm leaving this parking because parking is primo everywhere.
No, I'm recording an episode of a podcast. I'm sure they love that. They're just like, you motherfucker.
I'm sorry. Back to growing.
No, so you're saying you put when your humidity goes low inside the dome, you just put water in the bottom of the tray?
Yep, exactly. I just put water in the bottom. Unless with root riot cubes, they're peat. So you'll see a change in the color of the root riot if you have to add some. I will add some on top if I need to. If I see it get really light brown, I think it's really important. If you don't have experience and you usually get these in large bags, 25, 50, because they're small. Take one out the bag and just leave it out. See what happens to it so that you can see it change that light brown. So when you see them in the germination dome, you kind of can see, okay, that may need moisture. And you'll add some, but I don't want to also add too much water because these are babies. These are little babies. They don't need that much water. So if I put it in the tray, it'll encourage them to kind of develop some of that root growth. I will say for autos, that's going to be a big difference. I'm going to, autos, it's a quick germination dome phase. It's about 5 days. I don't do much more than that because you do see the roots come out after 4 or 5 days. With autos, I don't know how true this is. It's maybe bro science, but they say when the roots hit the extremity, that does trigger some extra stress, maybe some flower. Not that at that stage, but to minimize that, I just go right into my final pot. For this run,
right from the peat to your final pot.
Exactly. So at that point, I can see them established, and then I'll water around in my 5-gallon pot that I have, which is only filled about 3, just for soil purposes, not soil, medium purposes. I'm using peat with 70-30 blend, which I get from my local hydro shop. I forget which brand it is, but pretty famous brand. The same method that a lot of us use, running Athena nutrients, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, man, tell us a little bit about your system, because I know it's a little bit different than most people running just Athena blend. Talk about the way you grow. How's your system set up? Tell us about that.
Yeah, also how you started and why you switched, or like how you like to switch too.
Yeah. So all right. So first grow, one of my biggest priorities is automation. Automation for me is definitely key because I work 40 miles from home. Music. There we go. I work 40 miles from home, and being able to not worry is one of my big things. If I know that my res is low, I'm freaking out. So I started with that in mind. So I run a lot of automation. I run Inkbirds. I run an AC Infinity 69 controller on the Wi-Fi, so I can kind of monitor it from wherever I'm at and control the speed of the fans. And I grow within a 5x5 tent because I really want, even though I have a lung room, I could grow in the lung room, but I want to be able to control those temps really, really well. I also use auto pots. So auto pots are big time savers. Many users know, many of us use them. But I don't use the normal auto pots. I use the float system, the little float valve system, the tray that you just put in the tray. Forget the name of it. I'm gonna have to look it up while we're on here.
Isn't it like the easy to go?
The easy to go float valve. So you just put it in a tray, and the tray will fill up from the res as the plants need them. I have 2 trays, a 2x4, and that was recommended by Mac as well, so that I can kind of have 3 plants in one tray and 2 plants on the other one. So that automation was definitely big for me. So my first grow, I'm a big DIY as well. I have a humidifier that I made, which is like 25 gallons, one of those yellow totes, the black totes with the yellow tops.
Oh, yeah.
That monster, he set that up, and I copied his stat. So I have that on an Inkbird. I have an oil filled heater as well, right, for safety purposes, right? That really heats up slowly, but also maintains a nice strong temperature, and that's also on an Inkbird, so when it gets to where it needs to get to. So I mentioned all those things just to kind of shine a light on specific details as it relates to automation, because that was my number one priority. But going back to my first grow, I started with soil, Coastal Maine to be specific, and it's a great soil. I have to say it's a great soil. But because, as I mentioned earlier, I learned from so many resources, and this has been mentioned before. It's almost information overload kind of stuff. There's so much information that I blended almost 2 styles of growing. I wanted to grow with salts or Athena, which is my preferred method because cleanliness was very important to me. Thank you. There you go. That's why I'm bald. Exactly. You should call. Yeah, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. But I also used an organic soil. right? So mixing an organic soil with a salt baseline is not necessarily bad, but there's a lot of things that you have to consider. You have to consider timing. When is that soil going to run out of those base nutrients, and when do you start on the salt nutrients? But more importantly, you throw things out of balance. Right? So you may be adding, I don't know, whatever the uh, bloom at 4.3 grams, but that has all these other, this nitrogen in it potentially, but the soil may have this other nutrient that's going to throw off the nitrogen intake. So you throw off the cycle that's naturally an organic by putting salt in it. And in my head, I didn't connect that because I thought Athena's a great nutrient line. Costa Maine's a great soil. Why wouldn't two great things? Oh, that's the third siren. I don't know if you hear that one. Costa Maine's a great soil. So why not marry those two? But it wasn't really a strong pairing, which is why I moved over to cocoa for the second grow. And I have to say, I'm in love with cocoa. Other things you have to consider with cocoa, which I can come back to. But what helped me a lot in my first grow is environmental stability. I would say that I credit environmental stability to any of the success. Well, to me, a success. For me, I'm happy. It makes me happy. It's my happy place. I could be there for like 5 hours, and it just feels like 30 minutes went by. So,
sounds like a success to me.
Exactly. But all the results really came from stabilizing an environment, which came from partially from automation. My temperatures never really dropped below 74 ever, unless until I'm going into my harvest phase, but that's a different phase of life. My humidity, and I followed VPD very closely. That's another story that I'm learning as well. VPD itself is another very complex whole. But I followed VPD as I saw it on the chart. And that just gave me some general guidance on what should my humidity be about. So I was able to keep, a strong 65, 70 in veg. I was able to keep a good 55.
Consistency is key, man.
Yep,
That's
100%.
Important. So now that you've switched, and I know that you had other issues with soil that you, Mr. Clean, didn't like, for instance, like
Nope.
the bugs.
Yep.
Couldn't do with the goddamn bugs. So you've made the switch to cocoa because Dark Mac finally whispered enough good things into your ears to get you to go to the dark side. But obviously you're seeing success because you just keep getting better and better. And now you're posting full canopies. But so give everybody right now, how are you growing right now, and how are you blending all of your knowledge currently?
So right now I'm in cocoa. I have 5 plants. And knowing when to do something and when not to do something, I think I would say is how I blend all the knowledge. For example, maybe don't add that much Athena. It'll be fine. Or maybe you can skip the Photo Plus. I do use Photo Plus. I put it in my res once a week to just help. I want to put it every time I fill the res, but once a week for now will do. Right now I have, like you mentioned, a full canopy. And I'm pretty proud of that because they're autos, and I have to credit bud trainers. I use their LST clips, low stress training clips, which help bend the plant in a way that opens it up and allows light to get to some of those sites. My Marathon OG from Night Owls are about, I would say they're almost 4.5 feet from the bottom of the base, from the bottom of the pot itself. I've shown my Mango Smile is about 2 feet wide at the moment. And there's things that I learned from my first one that sometimes less is way more. I remember my first grow, Johnny said, "Dude, what's all that white stuff on top of your soil?" It was diatomaceous earth. But I didn't need that much. I just needed a little sprinkle, So I would say that's a lot, how I would say I blended it.
Nice, man. What the hell?
I had an itch. You know when you got an itch and it just gets you in. Sorry. You got to see it, y'all.
I was going to say,
Bravo.
that sounds for great radio.
So you mentioned Mango Smile and Marathon OG. Are those the only two you got growing right now in the 5x5?
No. So
Time out.
Oh.
What does Mango Smile and Marathon add up to? How many is that?
2.
What?
How many plants did he say he had?
I don't remember.
5.
Oh.
What other plants are you growing?
Nice. Well done.
He was just talking about how he grows in trays, and we were commending on him because he does different strains and everything. And you were it's all good. It's all good.
So
what
I
other
have.
plants?
How the fuck can you focus with all the honks, the peeps, the hoods, the fucking?
This
what
is
the hell
life.
going
What
on?
are you talking about,
There's a
man?
fucking ice cream truck at
Listen,
one point.
if you can't make, if you can't
No,
make,
man.
Hey, time out. I can function because I've also grown up around a lot of people. However, this is your fucking state, homeboy. You should be better understood than me.
Come on, man.
Oh,
Come
I'm
on.
so far from that fucking city. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I have one stoplight in my town. That's it.
So for full disclosure, I live outside the city. I'm not gonna say where, but I do live outside the city, which affords.
Oh, it's okay. We put your address in the description. Every
Awesome.
guest, we just list address and then schedules. So
did you add my social? Did you add my social to that?
And your mom's made it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. But I will say that is one of the benefits of living outside the city. You have
Getting
a lot
away from
more
it.
flexibility. No, yeah, that's part one. I can't wait to be in my backyard and just light up. I'm gonna light up Tangy as soon as I get home for the next. But I will say having that space, that was something that was definitely a limiting factor when I lived in the city. Moving out definitely helped also encourage me getting into our hobby because it's fun. It's fun as heck.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, sorry. Back
so
to
what other plants?
Oh,
so
yeah,
you two fucking stoners. Holy shit. What other 3 plants are in your garden, Sky?
All right. So I'm growing 2 Marathon OGs. And I really wanted to grow 2 of them. One I topped, one I didn't top, to kind of see if there would be any significant differences. I have a Mango Smile, which I mentioned, which is part of your average grow along. If you're not, or grow together. I got put in my place a few weeks back, Johnny. I hate you. And
it's okay. Judging by his face right now, you could say whatever you want, and he wouldn't fucking stop you.
Yeah, go for it.
Another person just asked me if I'm going to move my car. That. This is great. So the 2 Marathon OGs, 1 Mango Smile, which is part of the Your Average Grow Together. Then I have a Blue Seroso from Alabrije Genetics. I ran his Tangy Tibaguana, and I have to say that was a plant that is just a beautiful plant. It was my first time doing this, and I remember just like opening that tent, and it was just like, oh, like this came out of this little seed, and the terps, like you get, I think Captain said, peach baby throw up smell, terps to it, which is actually very pleasing in my opinion. I enjoy it, but that's just me.
It is a special plant, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I decided, I think Alabrije is going to definitely always have a place in my tent. So I'm running his Blue Seroso. I'm excited for that. And I'm also running a Pinot Noir, which is a mix. It's double grape Mephisto mixed with
wedding cake, isn't it?
No, it's not.
No, wedding cakes.
What's the G3 grow along starting
you
at 420?
Double grape.
There's double grape, and there's something else in it. So that those are the 5 I got. But definitely more than enough. I just grow for myself. I'm hoping. I said, you know what? I'm gonna at least aim for a pound. Let's see if that actually happens. Throw a number out there and just hope. My first goal, I said, if I score 300 grams, I'm sorry, 200 grams, 100 grams
I was gonna say it
from
was
my
100
first.
grams.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
well, at least you
yeah.
know you're getting that.
Right. So thank you. For my first grow, I said 100 grams, and I came in, and I came in at 200, and that was like, holy cow. And I think all the things that I learned because I made a lot of mistakes, I think have really helped me kind of step my level up in this second time go around. I have an air intake, which is a house filter fan on top of one of those totes that I just cut out the top with an 8-inch duct going into the AC. So everything's really clean. I'm also now using RO water, which I was not using in my first grow. And because I grow with Athena, RO water is part of the process. You can't accurately measure what you're putting in when you're using a salt-based like Athena without using some sort of clean water. I know in organics, very different. That's a whole different world that I want to explore. But in due time, right? In due time. Right now, I'm loving cocoa.
I have a
So those, I think,
very strong feeling that your Mr. Clean attitude about bugs and
yes.
organic is going to be a hard issue to pass
And
by.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
Could you imagine his
bring
skin
this
would
up.
crawl seeing
Listen.
predator mites and shit running around?
You would
So I
open
had
up
fun.
a tent and be like, "Oh shit!" Like not, and
See
it's
a
not even
rove
bad,
beetle
yeah.
and he'd shit his pants.
Or the worm farm next to the tents.
So
No, there's ways.
Listen here, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's either you or
No
it's
one-
me.
third attempt, someone just asked me if I was moving my car.
Jesus.
We're doing a tally. I hope y'all know. Someone's
Is
doing a tally.
that a popular spot?
Yeah, everywhere in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan area is a popular spot when it comes to parking.
I bet.
Parking's at a primo here. There's people who pay $350, $400 for a parking spot easy.
Jesus.
A month.
Jesus.
But anywho, what were we talking about?
We were talking about your dark side,
So the bugs.
And then we were talking, yeah, that's right. You're
Yes.
actually more accurate. We were talking about your hatred of bugs and organics, but we'll get you over that one day. Nobody's perfect. I'm more evidence of that.
So here, I will say I love what we do. You know why I love what we do? Because there's and I'm gonna turn on my camera because I think I'm getting like glitchy. I love what we do. Because what we do, there's so many different ways of doing it. There's so many different styles of growing, and every single individual has at least one variable that is different than another person. So I'm just happy to see success. I'm happy to see when I see people posting their plants and not getting tagged down by Instagram, right? And being able to kind of see, like, I celebrate people all the time because I just love the hobby as itself. For me, I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs. What I need bugs for? We have roaches. That was the only bug I really knew, and that was gross. I will say Costa Maine introduced. I'm not gonna blame the product. I had fungus gnats in my first.
You can
grow.
blame the product. Of Costa Maine's has fungus.
So
okay.
so yes, that's true. I did a little bit of research, not in depth, but Costa Maine is an organic soil. What do fungus gnats eat? Organic material, right? Decompensated, and that's what that is. It's kind of part of the process. And when you understand that, you can make the right decisions to put certain IPM in place, or integrated, I think, or pest management to mitigate that, because you can put other beneficial insects in there. But for me, I'm good. I don't want bugs. I know, look, Mother Nature is Mother Nature. There's bugs out there. It can stay out there. When it comes to my medicine, I think, I like the cleanly environment. I like that I'm able to control what's happening. I know what's going into it. And I know that when I try organic, I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it because I want to go and try it again. But first, I'm going to try photos. I got photos that I'm going to drop tomorrow. I got some fun going on over there.
How many photos are you doing?
So I'm thinking about dropping 12 to see where that ends up. I'm hoping to keep anywhere between 8 to 10, depending on size and health. I've always wanted to grow a white widow. I know, not fancy, super old, but I wanted to grow it for like 10 years. So I'm gonna give that a go. I also got some runts muffin from Barney's Farm, which I know a lot of people don't like the overseas. But I also have some, from here. I'm growing some joint custody, blueberry, and OJ, which I'm really excited about. And I'm going to throw some of his, I think, jet fuel in there as well. No, they're not. So the White Widow's a femme, Runts Muffin's a femme. The joint custody, blueberry Kush OJ, I believe it is a non-femme. But I'm just going to put a few extra seeds. I'm going to put a few extra seeds and just, I'm going to veg them out or put they have a little corner in the 5x5 that I'm just going to put the seeds in and let them do what they do. That's, a little way of almost tapping into a perpetual grow. I'm already using the electricity. Might as well start on the next one.
There you go. Can I complicate your plans and put
you on
the spot?
Of course you can. Do it. Do it. Yeah.
Johnny sent you some seeds that you might want to include in your next photo.
I don't know, man. I'm superstitious. Can they make it here by tomorrow? It's the full moon tomorrow.
I don't know how New York works.
Yeah, it's the full moon tomorrow.
Pigeon?
Yeah, I do.
It ain't gonna make it there by tomorrow.
No, it ain't gonna.
Well, you know what? I will say there's 25 spots where
okay.
I can put root rights. So maybe now you're just encouraging me.
No, I don't. I don't want you to think I'm putting pressure on you. It's
I'm
totally
the weakest
fine.
person when it comes to peer pressure to this stuff. So I'm doing it.
I would never dream of doing that to you, but if you don't, this episode will never ever air. Ever. No, I'm just kidding. But you do have some Master Pie coming. I forgot that you were trying to plant immediately.
No. I'll wait. And honestly, I'll just put it in the next. I'll wait.
Don't miss a full moon on our behalf.
I'll wait. I missed the last full moon, and I missed the last full moon by 2 days because I can't read a calendar right, and I'm still doing pretty okay.
You couldn't look up. You couldn't look up.
Nope. Exactly. Nope.
There you go. Jesus Christ. Blaming a calendar when you. Yeah. Anywho, before Johnny gets into any more questions, I have something that's become a recent kind of conversation in the Discord that if you haven't checked out, join. But I wanted to get into. You walk into a pizza place, right? I was going to call it a pizza store, which is just fucking hilariously bad. But if you walk into a pizza shop, what kind of slice of pizza you get in Mr. New York City? Cheese or pepperoni?
Cheese. Keep it simple.
Oh, motherfuckers.
Cheese. Keep it simple. Cheese.
No.
So
here's
the thing. If you're saying you have a gun to your head and you have to choose one or the other, I'm choosing cheese. But I always like to have one of each. No one eats one slice.
No, time out.
Who eats one slice?
Your last meal is instead of pepperoni pizza, and you're going cheese. You're like, nah, I'm dying with not even the extra benefit of pepperoni.
Pepperoni's risque.
What?
If the wrong pepperoni is used, it can over oil your pizza. Then
if
when
the
you fold it,
risque, the cheese ain't going to be any better, my friend.
No, I agree, but your pizza has to have cheese no matter what. So you're gonna add pepperoni.
If we're thinking worst case situation, no matter what, yeah, your pepperoni could be raw and or still.
Oh, here we go. Oh, we're saying between a good pepperoni or a good cheese slice. I'm going for the cheese slice. I was just going for the cheese slice.
From now on, we have to pre-screen all guests with that question because this is anarchy, and only I can be.
Listen, we understand you love your meat. That's why Johnny and I are here.
I choke down meat like a queen. However, it makes the most sense. You're getting the most bang for your buck if you go at least get pepperoni. Man.
I disagree with that. Aren't you paying extra for that pepperoni?
Oh, it's not substantial. And if you have to schedule your meals and get your protein because you're only eating, scraps and or you've only got 250 and change that you've received for the day. Okay, that extra protein, it really comes in handy. I would.
I mean, I get what you're saying, dude. I understand. Like, if you're going for a meal, you're paying for it. I want some pepperoni too. But here's the thing: is pizza's an experience. You want to test a pizza shop, you got to go to their basics.
The basic.
Their dough,
what's
their
more
sauce,
basic
and their
than
cheese.
a pepperoni?
He just said it.
I don't care.
Dough, cheese, and sauce.
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
we need him out of here. Mute the motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's okay. I'm accepting that as someone who doesn't live in New York, you guys won't respect my opinion. But let me just say, you're both wrong, both intellectually, but also morally. And I worry, and I will be praying for your souls.
So just to make you feel better, I'm going to throw a third option out there.
There's no third option.
People, yeah, there's always a third option. I don't care. You're never going to find this slice, so I'm going to still throw it out there. I found this pizza place by us that makes a marinara slice. No cheese, just sauce with some garlic and basil. On Sicilian crust.
Yeah, man.
That's the spot. That's my last meal. I'll take that as my last meal.
I'm very glad that you said that, because that makes it even better that you would only go with cheese, because your opinion is so now further evaluated that it just doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, thank God. If we don't agree, it only strengthens my position.
So I will say, as someone
you take the cheese off of pizza listen. As your last fucking meal. All right, dude. I can't. There ain't no coming back from that, dude. I'm sorry.
All right, you got it. But I will say, to my credit, I grew up a few blocks away from Little Italy in the Bronx. No better pizza than there. And and pizza, I will say, it's about the water. New York City water has something in it that makes that dough.
That what they say about the bagels too? Like, there is some legit thing. I wouldn't know. I've never been. And if you're serving up pizza without cheese as last meals, I doubt I ever will go.
I'll put pepperonis on yours and no cheese. How about that?
But cheese is good. I'm just saying it's all good. Add pepperoni. Anywho, this is the Pizza Cast with Johnny and Soskyhigh.
Oh, you know what's also good? A buffalo chicken slice.
That's a very good. We have touched on specialty pizzas, and buffalo chicken's gold, and then always sausage, pepperoni, black olives.
All right. No, if we're as long as we're on the subject, are you going ranch or blue cheese
for what?
On
the pizza?
Chicken wings.
Oh, and the chicken wings, it's blue cheese, dude.
Okay.
I will say none. I got none.
You eat chicken wings raw, like just the sauce, nothing?
Buffalo wings. With buffalo, they should have buffalo sauce on them.
Well, yeah, but
and what do you dip them in?
Nothing. They should be able to shine by themselves.
Well, yes, that is true. You got
also not ranch.
Yeah, not ranch is acceptable. I get people that don't like. I mean, what is New York's stance on people dipping pizza in ranch?
Ooh, don't ever say that. What did you just say? Why would you do that? I don't.
I'm just curious. I know you guys love when people put all kinds of weird stuff on pizzas. So I'm just throwing out popular trends.
I think I'm gonna pass on the ranch. Dipping my pizza in the ranch.
It's all good. You'd pass on 90% of the pizza anyway and call it the best meal ever.
Listen, don't knock it till you tried it. Don't knock it till you try it.
I agree that it's good. I'm just saying that sometimes subtraction does not add addition.
Yes, it does. And so, and back to growing, it also doesn't growing. Add less than what you think.
Anymore. This is now spreading the message of shitty pizza that New Yorkers find acceptable.
And then you wonder why you have 3 viewers, because you talk about pizza for half of your podcast.
We have absolutely no wonder in our heads why we have no listeners. we sleep well at night knowing.
There's very little delusion of grandeur here.
Let's get back to Johnny's questions for
yeah. Let's round out this episode, man. What's the first seed you ever planted, and why was it an apple seed?
It wasn't an apple seed. It was a cilantro seed. Grew 2 little cilantro plants.
Time
at home.
Time out. We have gone 53 and 52 seconds, and this is the first time you have brought any Latin flavor to this episode.
Listen, I got a lot of Latin flavor. Listen, I got a lot of flavor, all right? I got a lot of flavor. I just, gotta
Was
keep...
that the
Did
first...
he just go full Cardi B on us?
I did. It's natural, too. It just rolls off the tongue, y'all. I'm just going to tell you that y'all in trouble right now.
Was that the first R that you rolled in 55 fucking minutes? Listen, you son of a bitch.
You like that? I'm smooth like butter. You were like, oh, yeah, it's got so professional.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, it's like, oh, shit, he's not a honky.
All right, question number 2, Johnny. Jesus Christ, I got to keep us on track.
Cilantro.
Oh, cilantro. Yes, we love cilantro. We use it in almost everything we cook. And it was just a fun time it was actually right before I started growing, like 2 years, just to say, hey, let me try to grow a little plant and just get some little basics in watering. And my wife would just go over, cut a little piece, put it in our food. She's like, when are you growing it again? So yeah, cilantro.
Right on.
Nice. Well, what's your favorite pie and why is it apple?
It's not apple. And believe it or not, I've never had apple pie. I just find, I don't know, it's slimy and I don't know.
It's a texture thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I can imagine one with maybe ice cream on top, or maybe would be good, like a warm apple pie. But I just can't get past that.
The ice cream would be good.
I would say pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie's up there for Thanksgiving.
Now here's a question. The giant mammoth of a human being that is Alabrije, when he said pumpkin pie, he mentioned some fancy fruit or vegetable that doesn't actually exist and said that was his pumpkin pie. Do you mean the legit home, like everybody's had this pumpkin
I go
pie?
to like BJ's or Costco and get a pumpkin pie,
there
man.
We go.
Come on, man. Come on.
He goes, I love pumpkin pie. And then he started giving us a recipe for butternut squash pie.
Listen,
and we're like,
that's
listen, Mr. 7'8".
If anybody wants cooking lessons, Stony Alpinus, the man out there, he knows what he's talking about. Not I. I will hot pocket. I'm the master when it comes to that.
So
pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie, orange pumpkin pie with a dollop of spray can whipped cream.
There you go. Exactly. Keep it simple. And next question, Johnny. I'll keep us on track.
What's your favorite fruit? Why is it apple?
It actually is apple.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
So I think it's a northeast thing. So we got a lot of apples in the northeast, right, Johnny? So my top Pink Lady. Pink Lady is my favorite apple.
Okay.
But after that, I would say probably Gala. The worst is Red Delicious. I hate Red Delicious.
Yeah, those are terrible apples.
If you live in the northeast, you go apple picking. So we do that annually as a family.
How romantic.
Yeah, it's nice. We got pictures and everything. Yeah. It's nice. I got a son. You just
hold hands in their flannels and their blue jeans and brown boots.
Dude, it's actually for a city person, right? So I spent 35 years of my life in the city. I'm only 37. So going up there and being able to pick a fruit from the tree and taste it and be like,
the whole trip, yeah.
Oh, I want this. And they make some great apple cider donuts. Those apple cider donuts.
I got to try one of those.
So yeah, Pink Lady.
Right?
Love it, man.
Dude. That's awesome. Do you have anything that you want to promote or anybody you would like to start some beef with randomly for whatever? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I hate everyone
everybody sucks. Yeah. Fuck you.
Everyone. You get a fuck you. You get a fuck you. No, but there's too many people. And I would miss somebody out. But I would definitely like to say to all the podcasts that I listen to, Cultivation Conversation, Your Average Grower.
You just said our podcast wrong.
I know.
On our motherfucking podcast.
Listen, you know what I mean. I'm a stoner. I don't have to get it exact. As long as my EC and pH are exact, I'm fine.
Amen,
then I listen to Crafting Cannabis. I also listen to Homegrown, I think it's called. And I've learned something from all of them. And I've met some awesome people. Everyone has helped everyone. So just join one of the communities. Join the community. If you want to try to start growing, just drop a little seed in some soil and see what happens. You'll just the excitement of seeing that will drive you to just want to keep doing it. So not really anything, but if you want to see what I'm doing, I have a little page on crafting, on the cannabis cultivation conversation, where I log my days. I take a ton of pictures. That's my diary. I do it for myself. If you guys want to look, it's there. If not, thank you. I got an Instagram, Soskyhigh 101. I really started it just for fun, with no intention. I'm surprised I have 400 followers. 250 of them are going to design a logo for me, though. But I got 400 followers, so and it's not something, just doing it for fun. Just and meeting people. And I say, if you're interested in it and you can, if you have questions, reach out to any of us. I think all of us will always answer. If we don't know the question, somebody else will. Somebody will. And there's a lot of people who are active every single day in the Discord. So please join. I'm active. I try to be. And we all help each other, man. I've grown a lot, and I think Mac shouted me out last time, and I appreciate that, because all of you guys have been on my journey. I consider like Johnny, Rev, obviously, Mac, Stony, Captain, Monster, G3. I consider all of y'all like Power Rangers, and each of y'all are like one piece to the Megazord, and it kind of made the Megazord to make me understand what my Megazord of growing is, because all of you guys have been really additive.
Johnny definitely looks like the White Power Ranger.
But yeah.
Just because I need to get some sun, man. You're always hating,
dude. When you get sun, you turn red. You turn red when you get sun.
I'd be the Red Ranger after 5 minutes in the sun.
Red Ranger sounds like the thing you call your male dog when he sits down and his dick pops out.
I'd be the Power Ranger with a Puerto Rican flag tied to his
What would
neck.
you call your female dog who sat down when her dick popped out?
I let her choose. I would let her choose.
Thank you, Sosky, for literally ruining your reputation and appearing on this episode with us clusterfucks.
Listen, it's just been a good time, man. It's been talking with friends, and I just, I really appreciate y'all guys for everything y'all do, and keep it up, man. I think the show's, it's gonna do a lot, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people. But unfortunately, we have y'all two hosting it, so I guess we'll deal with it.
I will love I think this show, and then just not say anymore. Yeah, man. I think this show.
Do it.
I just think it's
Do it.
It's a show.
Man, we really do appreciate having you, even though the siren count was up there. So if anybody listening can get us that siren count, I'll send you a pack of the Astro Seeds. Just DM me with that siren count. Nice. And I'll get them mailed out to you.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, thanks for joining us. And Padre, why don't you hit us with a sermon?
Yeah, I'll go along the thread that Sosky started when he said, just reach out. And I can't think of a better thing to end it on. But yeah, man, if you got any questions, or you're down, or you want someone to talk to about anything, really, just reach out, man. There's so many good people. We're all there, and we're more than happy to help. So reach out, man. Don't be a dick. Mind your own business and go with Frog.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, dudes.
Be safe,
Peace.
y'all. Peace.